Go, folks. Gonna do it up here real quick. Try and get some work done. I don't know what my camera's saying here. It's trying to say I gotta switch it back. I think I'm stuck here. Let me get my palette right here. Accidentally spilled out too much green. It's alright though. I'm gonna try and smooth out this background. Whoops. Already got a little muddy here. So how's everybody doing? How's Saturday going? I need a bigger brush for this. Let's see if I can get it satisfactory enough. I'm kind of running out of space here on this palette. And this background wants to be kind of left kind of clean. So let's see what I can do here. Maybe a little bit brighter, a little bit of yellow or white. Just in the spotlight, it's like a spotlighty color. Yeah, let's see right here. Let's get a little bit of this retarder on here. Let's soup up a lot of color. I want to be careful around my edges. Get this out of the way for a second. Make sure I put this over here so I don't get my hand in it somehow. This little cat, he's jamming out to the original song. Kind of going in here with the flat color first, and then I'm going to give it, try and give it a little shape. Yeah, it's looking good so far. Kind of taking out some of that rough. I wanted to make it more like an oil painting, so that way I can do prints on canvas. And Star is born here. This guy looks like a superstar, doesn't he? Figure out a way to animate this. Yeah, it looks better already. Now, I'm going to try and cover big areas first. So, get this, whoops. This color in the background is, need more of this, excuse me, dirt. Birds, yeah. This looks alright. Yeah, I do want to create some drama, like, light. Want your light against dark. So I do want to have this background be darker. So yeah, it really looks like there's a spotlight on him. And I don't have to get too fussy in some ways because this is just the background. It's not the focal point. But I do want it to read well. Tell that this is a curtain. If you leave a comment, please do, and please subscribe to my channel. It really helps it out. And yeah, try and just put together some good content. I like painting fast. I like getting things laid in as fast as I can, get control of the painting. Pay attention to your edges. I went to art school at this place in Seattle. It used to be Burnley, but now they changed it to Seattle Central Community College. Had a 2-year program that was just absolutely stunning. It was all these really great. The thing is, with the college I went to, they didn't have all these requirements to be a teacher there, to be like a BA, because most your illustrators and they don't have a bachelor's like University of Washington. There's all these requirements to become um, a teacher. Excuse me. Sometimes when I'm painting, It's hard for me to. Yeah, this already looks 100% better. I do want to try and excuse me, while the paint is still wet or close to it, I want to try and um, do some 3D effect, the shadowing, highlighting. Just a lot easier when it's a little bit um, wet. That's that's the one advantage with oil or just other methods for painting, and is it doesn't dry as fast. This is on a real heavy Arches 300-pound watercolor paper, which I like a lot. People are like, why don't you use 140? Because I just I just like the solid feel. Yeah, look how much better that looks just from adding some solid color. Let's see if I can get a little bit of 3D effect here now. Just trying to get these lines. Doesn't have to be much. Just want to make it look like it's not just a solid flat surface. We want to have some shape, like a curtain shape. It's kind of hard not having a photo in front of me though. You gotta be careful with this. That's a little bit too bold. So what I can do here, just, well, let's see here. You gotta just blend it in. Right here. It's always easy to put too much paint down and make things bigger than they are, than they need to be. So a lot of times you have to go back in and kind of really touch it up. You should get enough water. Get it. You can get kind of a watercolor effect with acrylics. So this one guy, his paintings, I was, is that a watercolor? And no, that's all acrylic. This will dry a little bit lighter. Let's try and take a little bit of this down. So I want my focus to be on the character, not the curtain. So I'll just take this down a notch. Yeah, see how much that, like, just gave a little bit of, learning this thing in art school, indication, where you just indicate the curtain. You don't have to make everything detailed, especially if it's something that's not um, critical. Like the guitar and the character and the microphone. I want to have that detailed. Whereas this part can be kind of because remember it does have a spotlight on it, so that is kind of, yeah, some of this is still too a little bit too bright, too solid, too, what is the right word I'm looking for? Yeah, that's a little better. Gonna model this down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Maybe towards the outside there's a little more shape of the curtains, contours. We want it to read really well, where it's like you can see, okay, this is a microphone here, and there's not something um, blocking. There's something in the way. Yeah, it's looking good. Feel free to make comments. How's everybody doing? Uh, Sigma, I love cats. Thank you. Yeah, just taking a little break here. Just gotta stand back and look at the art a little bit. Um, yeah, thank you. Anyway, yeah, just gonna keep working on this a little more here. Try and focus and see what I can get a little bit more. I do want to add a little bit of painterly touch to it, kind of like a brushwork. That's See, I'm going to overlap a little bit on this line work because I'm going to go back over it again with um, other line work on top of it from like the parts like of the guitar, because it'll give it like a nice tighter edge. And when you're painting, it's just really important to relax. Take a lot of deep breaths, and kind of just keep your arms all like everything in your body limber, and exercise, and keep your body um, you're like a performer. You're like an athlete. You're a painter. Whoops. And like for example, this morning I jumped in a cold shower. Just um, keep hearing about this cold plunge thing. So wanted to do that. Try that out. You do want to have some shadow, because if you don't have any shadow, everything kind of looks a little bit like it's floating in space. So I want to pay attention to my edges. Use a delicate touch, like when you're painting trees or whatever. You want to have a delicate touch when you're doing like the top limbs. Try and make it really convincing, like down here on this line where the curtain is. Just a delicate touch. You can always come back in later and add in the foreground, whatever's in the foreground you want to do from the background forward. So I'll come in and paint this last, just right in the very front. So I just want to clean it up. Wherever it's busy, your eyes, you know, you want to have your busy where you want it, where it needs to be busy. So, um, the other stuff fades out of sight. The background, everything. So what do you think I should do with this cat? Like he He just seems like he needs to be animated. Like, maybe he's singing a song, meow, 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 meow. This guitar in here. I know I used a little bit of, excuse me, need something to drink here. Like I used a little bit of gouache on this, so gouache is really nice to work with because, see, I'm coming in here, I put in white gouache, and I'm kind of taking it down just a little bit. I want as much as I can to give it some element of a 3D look. I don't want it to be flat. Um, Isn't that cool? It's coming along. Like it's flat, like it has shadow effect underneath here. A little bit of shadow underneath here. A little bit of shadow. Gotta think of my light source. That's where maybe gouache can kind of trump uh, acrylic, is that it's still kind of water soluble. Just get a little bit of yeah, gouache is really nice to work with actually. So make sure this isn't too busy. It has enough textured element of, you always want to break up uninteresting shapes, but you want you want it to be kind of not so busy. There's a fine balance between it being really busy to being too flat. Like, so we want to kind of find that balance. So I want it to look like a wood grain here, but I don't want it to look too messy. The only thing I'll talk about it over and over again is you don't want your paintings to be spotty. You want them to be like, you want it to be busy where it needs to be busy. And it would be nice to have an actual guitar here, but you just have to go with it. Something's going on next door. I try and get dark against light, so I have this really light background. So I'm trying to make this a little bit darker. Beautiful, baby, beautiful. Um, one thing about illustrations like this is that if something gets published, like I was on the cover of this one magazine, any imperfection was amplified. Like, it's kind of like, yeah, any problem, they don't go in and Photoshop it or anything. So you're kind of stuck with it. We should have a little shadow. This keyboard, yeah, the string is a little bit too much. See, the thing with strings is the ones in the bottom are not as thin, they're thinner, so you can kind of see I kind of hastily put the strings together down here. We want to indicate it, but you don't want a full line. You want to have it be, they've seen this thing, if you're drawing a cartoon or something, it doesn't have to be the full length. All the way around. You can have broken line. Otherwise, it doesn't quite look right. You guys are enjoying this. The big thing, no matter what you're doing, I talk about people on YouTube, and just do stuff that is easy for you to do and it's relaxing enough that you can stay with it. And what else? Something that kind of, you have an edge over your competition. Something you can do better than anyone else. Let's see how everybody's doing here. How are you guys doing? Yeah. I've been going at it for a while here, so maybe I'll take a break. But what do you guys have any comments? Here's not so sigma. I don't know what that means. Anyway, we'll catch you on the next video.